Andy,
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming here. I'm going to high five you.
Yeah, let's do this.
So we know each other, definitely. We know each other through a public speaking group called Toastmasters.
Yeah.
And when we talked, I felt like we had a lot of commonalities already, and we were on the same level and resonated a lot with our interests.
Yeah.
So why don't you briefly start by talking a little bit about yourself, about who you are?
All right. So very briefly, guys, my name is Andy, island boy from the Caribbean, not Jamaica, but a more beautiful island called St. Martin. Hope you've heard of it. If not, you should definitely check it out. Plan a vacation there sometime. But I moved here to the Netherlands about 12 years ago. So you can do the math to what my age is at this point. Proud father of a beautiful baby boy. Not so much a baby anymore, about 16 months. And live together with my girlfriend. We just moved out of Amsterdam. Got a nice little place, for the little man. And yeah, working at a bank for the last year and a half. And yeah, just enjoying it, doing my thing on the side. And I'm here with Ferdinand on this show.
So I see your shirt, GoGettr. I think you are a real go-getter as well. You go after shit.
Really? Thanks.
So what is it about, GoGettr?
Now GoGettr is a brand I started about the beginning of the year, about a year ago now to be exact, is when the idea came about. And basically the whole, I would say, mission of GoGettr is empowering individuals to be more confident, so that they can, really feel like they can go after the things that they want to go after and be the person that they want to be. In a nutshell, that's basically GoGettr.
And you also do like sort of interviews, like you talk to people and then you share their story, right?
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
Yeah, so something similar to what you do here on your show.
But then in writing.
Yeah, I do it in writing. And so basically, everything around GoGettr is evolved around empowering the individual. And I think being in Toastmasters, I realized that stories are super powerful and they can really have, that inspiring factor. And I realized also, with why I wanted to do the stories with GoGettr is because everyone has a unique story, but not only a unique story, they also have, a challenge that they're going through. And my main purpose with the stories was so that other people who come across the page and read the stories may just happen to read a story that may resemble something that they're going through, and that they will feel like, hey, I'm not alone in this.
Exactly. Like they relate to some element of the story, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I read a couple of them, and then from each of the story, you see something that relates to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's interesting, but because then you connect
Exactly.
with the person.
Exactly.
So when we talked, like as I said, we had an immediate connection, and before the podcast, you also talked about Tony Robbins, Simon Sinek. So can you bring us to like where you think where it all started? Like when did you begin implementing, I would say, personal development into your life in a more conscious way?
Personal development, that's a good one. I think for me, it started about 5 years ago, roughly. And it started with this book, and, maybe many people have heard this, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's a classic one.
It's a very classic book. And I think that book really opened up my mind to just a different way of looking at the economy, looking at, income and, just how the business, world is set up. And also within that book, it talked about, basically just the different mindsets that...
Yeah, passive income and have money work for you.
Yeah.
Right?
But also the mindsets that go along with that. How one person may be brought up in what we call a traditional way of thinking versus someone else who is a bit more open-minded and has that go-getter mindset.
Yeah, and is that like did you already employ actions? Like did any actions come out of it immediately, or what did you do with it?
I think what was so funny? I think after reading that book, I realized that because it spoke to me so much, and, you can call this coincidence or you can call this the universe working, the law of attraction. But I
don't believe in that law, but like people misabuse the term,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everyone
energy.
has their own beliefs.
I call it energy.
Yeah. Law of attraction, energy, magnetic, whatever. But, yeah. I was, after reading the book, someone approached me about a certain, like a business opportunity. And that was then also evolved around, that idea of building a passive income. And I think it was within that, it was a multi-level marketing company. And it was from that point on is where, just the different elements of, personal development really came into play. And when I really decided to look into different venues of how I can, improve myself as a person.
So what kind of other, can you recall other books that have inspired you?
Other books that have inspired me. So I guess around that time, I read a lot of the Robert Kiyosaki books. So Rich Dad Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad Guides to Investing. And then I moved on to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Let's talk a bit about that. Like, do you remember?
That's a favorite for you, huh?
Yeah, like that's why it's standing prominent in the main vision.
I see. But he stopped me in my tracks. Well, let's go.
Do you know, like, what impression did it give to you? Do you remember anything, like what sticked?
I think, the first thing that pops into my mind now, if I think on Think and Grow Rich, is just understanding the power of our mind.
Yeah, mindset. Definitely.
And, that idea of, before something becomes matter or before something is put into reality, we conceive it in our mind. And if we really acknowledge the power that we have, that we can, literally put anything that we want, that we have in our mind into existence. And it starts, of course, with a strong desire.
Yeah, so you envision it, basically, right?
That's part of it. Exactly. You see it. Yeah, you think about it and you basically, kind of visualize having that, whatever it is that's in your mind.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's more like, so some people call that kind of thing like the law of attraction, right? So I think about it, so I attract it.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't like it, because I don't think it's that plain simple, because it's something that comes, you really have to feel it as well. And then, so that's it's more putting your focus on something, and that's whatever you put focus on, that's what's growing.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I still think though, when you think on, when you do conceive it in your mind, even if you don't feel like a burning desire, it's still something that you can put into reality. Like if I say, I'm thinking about lifting my left hand right now, and I do that, I don't have to feel a strong desire to do that, but I execute it. And that's just
because you can already do it.
You can already, maybe you
that's
can.
That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
So it's more like for things you haven't accomplished yet. That's what I think.
No, but for things, okay, I get that. And I think maybe what I have to add to that is, of course, it starts in the mind. And of course, if you really want to make something happen, then you really have to put not only, your mind, but you have to really put that focus behind it. And you have to work. At the end of the day, whatever you want to put into reality, you have to execute some form of action.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna make a little bit of a switch. So you were I know you're a big fan of sports and nutrition. You're very conscious with those things. Why?
What
does it bring you?
Well, for me, sporting. I've been sporting from a very young age, and it's just something.
What kind of sports did you do?
Mainly basketball.
Yeah, back when you were there, when you were in St. Martin?
Yeah, when I was in St. Martin. And I played basketball. I played all different kind of other sports, football, but in the yard, in my grandma's yard, baseball, stuff like that. But the sport that I was really passionate about was basketball. And then a little side note, I used to do some weightlifting, but not with actual weights. I used to take like empty how do you call it, detergent bottles, fill it with water, and then I would be
detergent bottles,
like those big bottles of detergent.
Yeah, like the 1 liter.
Yeah, And when, my mom was finished washing, I would fill those up with water and then use those as weights. No, but basketball was always a big passion of mine. And I realized that, if I really wanted to keep on, just sporting and performing on a high level, part of that has to do with taking care of your body and, being conscious of what you put inside.
And what about your diet? And did you change it over time?
Yeah, funny that you asked that.
Why?
About a year, because about beginning of the year, we made a conscious decision to kind of cut meat out of our diet. And when I say we are talking about me and my partner. Mm-hmm. For a while, I stopped drinking milk and dairy, and it's just because my body just had a weird reaction to it.
When did you stop it?
Oh, dairy, I think about 4 years ago.
Mm. Yeah, like me too. So I also stopped with the dairy. Yeah, same reasons.
Yeah.
It feels better.
About 4 or 5 years ago, and now just meat. Just realizing that it doesn't have to be a prominent part of my diet, and so you can also say we're kind of in an experimental phase just to see like how our bodies react, how we feel and so forth. So, yeah.
But so for example, you do weightlifting in the gym, right?
Correct. Also.
Yeah. So when I did like the switch from switching to eating less meat, for example, I encountered that I felt like I had less energy, especially when doing lifting weights, for example. Yeah. Or any other things like different sports as well.
Yeah.
What, did you notice anything different?
Yeah, I also kind of experienced the same thing. But I'm not sure if I can directly attribute that to, me cutting meat out of the diet, because it was not necessarily always the case that I ate meat before, going to sport.
Okay, but it's also for recovery after the gym, for example. So that's why I think in the end, the proteins from animals, quality-wise, are for recovery of your body are better than plant-based. But I don't think we have to eat every day a lot of meat.
Yeah, I mean, it's still something we're looking into and researching, and of course you hear different theories about. And everybody has to do what they feel is best for them. So I'm not going to be the type to tell someone, you should stop eating meat or whatever the case is, just because I don't know everything around it. But it's just me making a conscious decision to like cut it out now, and just see how my body reacts to that. And up until this point, I did have a relapse. I'll be super honest. For a couple of months, aside from overreaction on my skin. Body was just craving for, what I was like again. But then a few months ago, we decided to give it to go at it again. And it's been going super good this time.
Yeah. Another question I have is can you remember, so you said 5 years ago, you made sort of a transition. You were more consciously doing, investing in yourself, like personal development. What was Andy like before that? If you look back now, and can you imagine being ever that Andy again? Or
Andy just before the personal development was Andy who I used to watch a vast amount of series and I used to play extremely I used to be an extreme gamer, not extreme gamer, but I used to play a lot of Xbox. Yeah.
What's your favorite?
At that time, what kept me home was Modern Warfare 2.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty. yeah. That was that gave me some vicious dreams as well.
Mm-hmm. I see.
But then it was and it comes down to at the given point, focus. Like if I realized if I wanted to attain certain things in my life and achieve certain results, I needed to make some sacrifices and cut certain things out. And for me, gaming and just being soaked up in a series was one of those things that I needed to focus on.
But do you when you look back on it, do you have any regrets, or how would you? Yeah, how do you look back on it then? Do you classify it as time wasting then, or do you think it was okay, or because now you don't do it anymore? Right?
If it's time wasted, I mean, probably if I was still, and you can never know, but probably if I was still, focusing on playing game and whatnot, I probably wouldn't have met my girlfriend today.
Yeah.
Because I remember at that time I had taken on a different mindset where if I wanted to attract a certain type of woman, I needed to be that type of guy, a certain type of guy. All those traits I'm looking for in her, I needed to possess those traits. So it was something that I was consciously and actively, working on and just being aware of. And maybe, if I was gaming or, just watching, that's like a form of escape. And I probably wouldn't have the space in my mind to even think about different things like that. And
what do you mean? Like you say it was like an escape? So I don't get like the connection with.
So look, as an escape in the sense of, let's say, at the time I was also in school and so forth. So, gaming was a form of not having to deal with, focusing
the
on
other
school.
stuff.
So it's like, it's just like an escape. Plain and simple.
But then you say like, I wouldn't have met your partner. You will met him at your partner. But what do you mean by that then?
Yeah, like I said, I took on a different mindset in that. Okay, if I wanted to attract, like I said, a certain type of woman, I needed to be a certain type of guy.
But you wasn't that guy back then, right?
Look, it's not like I was an extreme bad person or bad guy, whatever the case is. But let's say if I wanted to meet a girl that was, serious about life and, accomplishing things in the future, would such a girl, be attracted in a guy who just plays game all day and kind of seems like he has no ambition? Yeah, the answer is no. So that was one of the things that I decided to.
Oh, so that's why you changed. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I get what you're saying. Yeah. So when I first saw you in Toastmasters, like you have this natural, charismatic, like this warmth. That's what you convey. That's at least my opinion.
Yeah.
Also, when you talk, like you give a very relaxed state of mind.
Yeah.
You transfer that to the person. I think you told me that you heard that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from? And
I think it just comes from, the calmness just comes from me as a person. I know when I was younger, my mom would say I was super active, I was super busy and so forth. But I think as I got older, I just had like a very calm and relaxed demeanor about me. And I think maybe that those are some traits that my mom has because she's a very relaxed person as well. And I kind of
you're more like your
vibe a bit more off of my mom in certain things, certain areas. And yeah, I think the relaxedness is also me when I approach different people. Like I try my best not to judge someone from the get-go. Of course, we always have our preconceptions of people and whatnot. But I just try my best to just be as open as possible and just be welcoming and welcome whatever ideas that
I
person
assume you
has.
follow your gut feeling, right? In that sense, or
I don't know if I can consciously say that, but yeah, maybe.
Or how do you think you do it then? Like if someone approaches you and just want to have a chat with you, like
just generally be interested. So it's like not like trying to push an agenda or talking to someone because I want to get something from them. I literally, when I do my best when I talk to someone to be genuinely interested in what they're saying and listen to what they're saying and respond on what they're saying and just try to get to know them on a bit deeper level and not just stay too much on the surface.
Yeah, okay, but you cannot do that with everyone, right?
You can't do it with everyone, but I think just still being able to just listen to people and not always trying to push your
own thing
forward. I think is something because people don't come across that often. when you do come across, when someone like that does come across somebody who's actually listening, then it's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's what it, yeah. And they appreciate it.
And they
because
appreciate
feel
it. Yeah,
right?
they appreciate that.
Did you ever have like, you meet someone and you had this, this feeling from the, from the get-go, like, okay, you have a specific feeling about the person, the energy, and then you were completely, let's say you had a negative feeling about the person, but then he or she surprised you a lot.
A negative feeling off the top of my head. No.
You're a good judger then.
Sorry?
you
Probably, or people just...
Or you attract the right people.
Or attract the right people, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've never really... No. Have you had that? That you say like...
Yeah. Well, regularly, but like you, I cannot think of one right now, off the top of my head, but it happens a lot. But I think I'm more precautious in that. So that's why I ask, like, do you follow your instinct or feeling?
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing recent, like in the last few months or years instead of, I used to be different in that sense. Yeah.
I think maybe you can classify it as a gut feeling, because if you're talking with someone and you just feel like the energy, like the person is just too self-absorbed or is just focused on, the wrong things, then I think at a given point I just decide to, I don't zone out at the time, but I just decide like there's probably not going to be a follow-up encounter.
Yeah, because you feel like you're too far off from the things you talk about or the vision you have about things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Toastmasters. So how long have you been a member for at Toastmasters? By the way, tomorrow you have your...
tomorrow. So tomorrow I got the next level to the humorous speech contest.
Are you nervous for this kind of things?
I'm not nervous as yet. No, probably tomorrow when the day comes, and of course I'm gonna feel some stuff. I
want to talk also about like the blackout you had, but let's go back to the beginning. Like, how long have you been a member for now?
Toastmasters.
Let's briefly explain what it is.
So Toastmasters is basically an international organization run purely by volunteers, where people who join and are a part of Toastmasters get to work on their communication skills as well as leadership skills, because Toastmasters has this belief that communication and leadership goes hand in hand. You can't be a leader if you're not able to communicate, and when you're able to communicate, you can then lead.
Yeah.
And so I've been a part of that organization since I think 2014. It's about 4 years now. Yeah.
What was the main reason for you to join?
The main reason for me to join was because I wanted to win more arguments against my girlfriend.
But now the real reason.
Well, that was really one of the reasons. No, but another reason was because, like I said, I was part of a multi-level marketing company, and I saw one of the things that I really appreciated was I love how some people would just go on stage and talk and
kill it.
Yeah, kill it, but just be able to be themselves on stage. Not necessarily go up there to just inspire people, but just have the courage and the balls to do that shit. So I wanted to...
Do you have inspirators?
If I have inspirators?
Like people, like people you look up to or like that inspire you.
One of my biggest was, I think Les Brown. Just seeing...
I read the book.
Yeah, a brother like that, on stage, and just being able to speak with such power, that I just really love that. But I never really wanted to be like him or speak like him, because he's just he's just a whole nother level. And E.T. the hip hop
that one is more reserved and more for me. It's more easy to listen to. So that was some of the people that I really love hearing speak. But you were not you were not very bad at public speaking or afraid or scared? Or?
I can't say if I was bad at public speaking, but I just wasn't used to it.
Because you never had to?
I mean, in school when you have to give a presentation, but you're not like focused on, I'm gonna be speaking in public. No. Before that, I didn't have any other reason to speak in public, but I thought, okay, if I wanted to excel within this company, this is something that eventually I would have to be able to master, or at least, just have down pack. And so I wanted to, at the same time, work on those skills. And that was part of my personal development.
Yeah, okay, so that's how it connects together. Even though I don't fully agree, because I think it covers more than just public speaking, right? Just as you said.
What don't you agree with?
No, like you said, you didn't have to speak in public frequently.
Yeah.
But I think it's useful for everything, even like striking up a conversation in general.
No, that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Although...
no, and for you, no, it's not like that? Like the skills you learn...
The skills, of course, the skills you learn, you can use in striking up a conversation. But I think still speaking in front of an audience it can still be different to speaking to someone one-on-one.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna have the guts to just walk up to somebody and talk to them.
Okay, that can be much easier or more difficult.
It can be, exactly. It can be more difficult for some people. Like, speaking in front of an audience, it's less personal. If you think about it, versus...
It depends if it's just 5 people.
If it's just 5 people, okay.
Or 10. Like if it gets bigger, 50.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's continue. So 4 years now.
Yeah.
What are your lessons learned so far? And do you encourage other people to do it as well?
Lessons learned, you never stop stressing, and the fear is always there. But you just learn to deal with that shit.
How do you deal with it then?
How do you deal with it?
So one of my friends, he asked, what is it, do you have any great public speaking books? So I recommended him a book. But then first and foremost, I told him practice is the only way to improve. So either to public speaking group or meetups or with friends or at work, So that's my belief. But it helps. It's the environment definitely helps.
It does. Yeah, to get better at public speaking, it is something that you need to consistently work on. I mean, just like any other skill or craft that you want to master, you need to put work and effort behind of that if you want to reap the benefits. And that was one of the reasons why I really love Toastmasters, is just because on a consistent basis per month, you get to actively work on your public speaking skills. So every day twice a month, you had an opportunity to fear a bit less when it comes to public speaking. The fear never goes away. That's one thing I want to establish, at least in my opinion.
But also not only through speeches or evaluations are also part of it, of course.
Yeah.
But also like support roles, right? So that gives you the opportunity to...
Yeah. So in Toastmasters, you have each meeting that is run, of course, by volunteers, and there are people who help facilitate the evening, who take on different roles like keeping the time, making sure everything runs on time, or who looks at the different ahs and ums. Something we use a lot in casual conversation, but you don't want to overuse when you're speaking in public. And, because of these small mini roles, especially if you're new to public speaking, they are really great place to start if you just want to get over that hump and say, okay, I'm making my first step before I go and make an official speech. I'm going to just take this role, have a 30-second to a minute opportunity to speak on stage, and you build it up accordingly. Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was going to ask for you, how was that for you in the beginning?
What do you mean?
Starting, Toastmasters.
Yeah, so the reason I joined was to improve communication skills, as you said, like the public speaking, conversational skills.
And why? Why did you want to improve that? Why that area?
I think it's a great asset that can help in whichever area in your life, whether it's private, professional, wherever. So that's the reason.
But at that time, you had a specific area or a specific area in your life that you
everything
you said? Everything.
So for me, everything is one.
Okay.
And then I just joined and I tried to pick up as many things from the get-go, basically.
Okay. And what are some of the main things that you've picked up until this point?
Well, for example, I struggled in the beginning with blackouts.
Okay.
And now it's getting better. So,
Okay.
and I mean, nobody gives a shit if you have a blackout, and that's the nice thing. And also, like, one of my speeches, when I gave a speech, I was someone in the crowd was looking very confused and weird.
Yeah.
And then this person, so I was like making up a story in my head.
Okay.
This person doesn't like my speech or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then after the speech, this person congratulated me and how the speech was great, blah, blah. I was like, what the
hell, yeah.
How can this be so different? So these kind of things, and that's really learning for.
Yeah.
Just stay relaxed and a lot you learn really fast. Like it's so steep.
Yeah, yeah. I think when it comes to that, for those who are interested in public speaking or also have that. Or when I'm on stage, somebody's looking kind of weird at me.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I think one of the main things to keep in mind when you're going to speak in public, whether it's for a workshop presentation, is that if you have people who are there in the room, chances greatly are, that they are there to get something out of your speech. So if you keep that in mind, then you would understand that people in the audience don't necessarily want to see you lose.
They want to see you win.
Exactly, because if you win, then they win
too. Yeah.
So that's a nice thought to keep in mind.
Yeah. So Andy, we've been talking for quite a bit.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how can people find you on the internet?
Okay, so how can you find me on the internet? I'm mostly active on Instagram.
I will post the links as well in the pages.
Yeah,
obviously.
my personal Instagram is chilling_with_a.
And then you have your...
and then you can find the brand, my GoGettr brand. It's GoGettr, GoGettr _the brand. And there you'll see a compilation of, just empowering quotes, videos.
Yeah.
And just links to stories that I make. And also I do sell apparel, merch.
What?
Some apparel.
Apparel.
Clothing.
Like this.
Clothing,
Yeah.
So some this nice sweater or
Where's your
have
cap?
some really dope caps. I didn't bring the cap today because I shaped up, so I just wanted to show my cut. Nah, I'm kidding. But we got some shirts and we got socks and basically I'll be honest, when it came to GoGettr, the focus was a lot in the beginning on, selling, the merchandise and so forth. But I realized that was not the area that I wanted to put my energy behind because I'm not, per se into the fashion. The apparel I realized is just more an extension of the mission of GoGettr.
Yeah.
And so, the mission is to empower. And so for those who, want to feel a part of the community and feel a part of the, that lifestyle, that movement, and just, support a young Black brother, you can show your support by following, or I don't want to say follow me, but I want to say, lead with me on the different channels. And, because we're not about, following, we want to create leaders. And just show your support by, purchasing a shirt or a hoodie or something along those lines. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Andy, thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me, Ferdinand.
Yeah.
I really love the fact that you do these podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, I like to hear those stories and learn more about other people.
Okay.
So I wish you all the best.
Yeah, thanks.
And I will see you soon.
All right.
And good luck tomorrow in your in the contest.
Yeah,
the
thanks. Maybe we do a follow-up. Maybe we do a part 2. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? All right.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.